beautiful soul. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Astara and I'm an angelic communicator and clairvoyant. And today we're going to deep dive into something that I was downloaded over the weekend. I just did a video on people trying to move on from their twin, which might be helpful to some. And it was like in the same download from the Angelic Council of Light, I also had this one. And this is the power of being in the moment. I've been asking quite deeply in my process how to move on into my new timeline, how to shift and progress because I feel like I'm ready. And this is what I was shown when we're going through this process with our twin flames. We're trying to move out of a distortion, and some of that distortion has played with our ability to be fully present in ourselves. And this doesn't come from the twin flame journey, but it's highlighted by the twin flame journey. And this is the power of being in the moment, really allowing us to no longer go into the past, which is a lot to do with wounding and story making, to go into the future where we're trying to work towards what is going to happen and see the future. It actually takes us out of alignment every time we do that. And the best thing we can do is take a breath and come back into the present moment. Now, this can be very hard for the mind. It can be very hard for the ego, especially if we're stuck in some particular patterns and we want things to be a certain way. So it takes a little bit of time. But if we can go from the what if and when will they, when will they text, when will they bump into me, when will they contact me, if we can come out of that future projection and we can also begin to shift out of our past wounding, then we come into a very powerful place. And that is the place of presence. That is the place where you really want to be all the time, if you can. So, on the twin flame path, our minds are running ahead of us. We are often replaying our past wounding as well, and separation, misunderstandings, triggers that trigger us are all to do with that, all to do with what we hope it will be and then it isn't that, or what we know it will be and then it isn't that. So we're always fast forwarding into the future and imagining and longing for a union or a reunion or a message or a shift or anticipating that shift, but we're also connecting back into the past. So very few of us spend time in the present moment. And this is why meditation is really great. If you can meditate, you often feel better. It's also if you do things that get you into your body, like get really physical activity, it really shifts you and your focus into the present moment when you are into the physical realm. You'll notice that a lot of this goes on in the mind and is part of our mastery of the mind, because our mind wants to live everywhere in the past and in the future, except in the present moment. It's like something is very difficult for the mind to do that. We have to shift gears. We have to shift out of a certain perspective in ourselves to be really present in the present moment. And I think that's why we go into this meditational shift to be able to be there. And I would call this the 5D, to be able to transcend time and space, the 3D, the 4D, and come into the present moment. We have to be in the 5D. But notice if your mind is living everywhere else apart from the present moment, you're actually in a disconnection from yourself. And that disconnection can actually drain the energy that actually is between your twin and is trying to bring you into union, but actually that energy will keep you out of union. This is about becoming really present. And this is one reason why the twin flame energy is two flames, separate, but burning together and activating each other and responding to one another, not necessarily enmeshed. This is because we need to be in our sovereign energy to work with our twin flame, to have this amplified frequency moving through us. So the twin flame energy isn't activated by that chasing energy where you're going into the future, or that fixing or analyzing energy. It becomes activated more in its true sense by embodiment, by becoming so rooted in your own experience that expectation simply dissolves. Now, this can be very, very challenging because if you're on the twin flame journey and it's something you want so much, then how is it possible not to have expectation? And it's funny because as soon as I go into not expecting anything, which can be my default, I can definitely go into the stories of not expecting anything, then I will get messages from my guides and angels that say to expect something, to have expectancy. So this is very confusing. What you really want to be doing is choosing this moment that you're in, choosing this breath, this feeling, this sensation, your heartbeat, your connection to your heart, because that's where the past and the future begin to lose their grip. They begin to stop recycling wounding and wounded stories. They stop redefining who you are. They stop becoming the information that you rely on as your identity, because all of that, yes, that's stuff that's gone on in the past, and there might be something you're creating in the future, but you're creating the future now, like right now, in this moment. So the future is something different. It often has a yearning quality, and you're no longer living in a reality that's out of reach. You're living in the only place union can truly exist. When you give up the future yearning, you're actually becoming present in the moment. And being present in the moment actually feels so good. In fact, I was trying it this morning and I felt like I was literally cutting off this future stuff that I didn't hadn't created yet and letting go of the past, which felt like it was a weight on my shoulder, and just sitting in this present moment. And it felt like there were so many possibilities awakened to me if I could stay in that clarity. So maybe right now, on your twin flame journey, your twin isn't showing up in the way you hoped. That's a shame, isn't it? I feel sorry for us that that's happening, that this is happening across the board as well, and that I had to do the video about letting go of a twin for some people. This communication with them can feel very distant if you're in separation. Maybe the path feels very, very unclear. And I think that is a hallmark of this journey, that you have no idea what's going to happen or when. And when you think something's going to happen, you project onto it, something else happens. You can be really present and grounded and have conscious awareness of what's going on in your energy field, what's going on in your bond and your dynamic with your twin. When you come into your presence, there is an exact shift in your dynamic that allows something to happen without you having to do anything. In fact, when you're present, you stop sending out energy that says, where are you? What are you doing? Why aren't you here? What's going to happen? When are you coming? When are you coming back? You begin to frequency shift into a different energy, a radiating energy, a radiating frequency. And that, I feel, becomes more in alignment with you and your sovereign self. The frequency says things like, I am. I am here. I am whole. I am present. Oh, I'm aligned. I'm enough. And even by moving into that with those statements, you're actually changing your frequency to be in that place where you're complete in your own sovereign being, in your own way. And it feels better. It feels more magnetic. It feels more aligned to what you really want in your life. And this frequency, I think, dissolves expectations, aligning to something which may not happen. So, aligning to your true self, you become the truth in you, and that becomes creative in its ability to expand into something and to have your potential fully forming in you and coming into your reality. So I believe that this is about us maturing and becoming masters of our energy and allowing ourselves to grow up energetically, to stop doing things that perhaps we did in the past and choosing our own alignment over having attachment to other things, having attachment to something that may or may not happen. I quite like presence because it brings you back to yourself. The strange thing here is that it affects your twin in that it becomes more harmonious between you because you're expecting less from them. You don't want anything from them anymore. That might feel like impossible sometimes on this journey, but there is something about not having any effort requires you just to be your authentic self, just to know that that is enough. That's enough. And not trying to pull your twin towards you, allowing yourself to become so solid in your own light that you're sort of glowing. And that naturally is interesting to them. It gravitates them towards you. Maybe this is really teaching us by being present, fully present, And that means no waiting, no running, no chasing. And this really reduces anxiety. That's one of the big things here, that just by being, you are reducing your anxiety. And this allows you to become more of the version of yourself that you want to see in the world. So let's take a moment here and just have a breath. Just feel that inhale and exhale of your breath in and out of your body. I don't know if you can feel this, but this is where your power is. Just in this moment is where your alignment is. And if you are still waiting for your twin flame after you've done that breathing, then maybe breathe some more and notice that you're not in the past, you're not in the future, you are right here, right now. That is your home. Keep coming home to yourself, keep choosing your presence, and watch how everything really shifts around you as you're doing that. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me and this little download I had from the Angelic Council. It's one that I'll be working with now and I'll be enjoying. And I like it because it aligns with a lot of other principles and practices I've been working with. It's a hard one with this twin flame journey because there's romantic potential. It suddenly sets us on a timeline which can become quite distorted. I think we've been fed a lot of what romance looks like and what being with a partner looks like. And really, the heart needs to step into that presence more and come out of the mind patterns that have created all these, or how things should look and what things should be. Because a happy heart is one that we acknowledge and we align to and we feel good about being in. So maybe coming back to that rather than expecting your twin to fulfill that need for you. And they're going to have to learn to do it too, because this is how we truly move out of codependency and into our own sovereign being. So thank you for joining me. If you want to do some work with me, I'm doing the twin flame meditations on Mondays, every Monday till the end of the year. And they've been lovely. We've been resetting our energy. They've been really lovely groups, and we've been working with a different angel, a different ascended master or goddess. It's been great, actually. Those sessions have been so different and so varied. And we worked with Archangel Raphael last week, but who knows who we'll be working with tonight. I'm looking forward to doing that. So you can book that by going to my link tree, my Instagram, on my website. I don't think it's on my website, but my website is showing up some other things you can do with me. And if you want to do a soul session or a twin flame clarity session, helping to connect with and dissolve any blocks between you and your twin, we can definitely look at that on a session. And yeah, it's been lovely to connect with you again and see you on the next video.